This video explains how to find the rule of a logarithmic function from its graph. To do so, we need to know the equation of the asymptote and at least 2 points that belong to the function. Before starting, let's review a few things. When trying to find the rule of a logarithmic function, use the form f of x equals log base c of b times x minus h. The logarithmic function has a vertical asymptote, whose rule is x equals h. We can use the asymptote to find the h value. In most problems, only one parameter is known. To find the other two, we need to solve a system of equations with two unknowns. When working with logarithms, you need to know how to switch from a logarithmic form to exponential form. For instance, if you have 5 equals log base 2 of 32, start by writing the base 2. The exponent, which is the answer to the logarithm, is 5, and the power is 32. Let's do an example. Let's find the rule of the logarithmic function graphed on the following Cartesian plane. The curve passes through the points -3, 4 and 0, 2. Step 1 is to determine the value of parameter h, which corresponds to the asymptote. Since the asymptote is at x equals 1, h is 1. Replace it in the rule. There are two parameters left to find, c and b. As mentioned earlier, we will have to create two equations to later solve. Use the points that are given. Start by creating an equation with the point -3, 4. 4 equals log base c of b times -3 minus 1. This equation can be reduced starting with the brackets. -3 minus 1 is -4. b times -4 is -4b. Now we must create a second equation. This time, we'll use the point 0, 2, which gives 2 equals log base c of b times 0 minus 1. Reduce what's in the brackets, which gives -1, and multiply to get -1b. Solve the system of equations. To make this easier, convert each equation into exponential form. The first one becomes c to the power of 4 equals -4b. The second one becomes c to the power of 2 equals -1b. Let's use the comparison method to solve the system of equations. We need to isolate the same variable in both equations. The simplest way is to isolate the variable b. The first equation gives c to the power of 4 divided by -4 equals b. The second gives c squared divided by -1 equals b. Now we set the two equations equal to each other. We get -1 times c to the power of 4 equals -4 times c squared. We then divide by c squared on both sides of the equation. On the right, all that is left is -4. On the left, the laws of exponents must be applied. When dividing two identical bases, we subtract their exponents. 4 minus 2 is 2. This gives -1 times c squared. Isolate variable c by dividing by -1 on both sides. This gives c squared equals 4. Now we just need to take the square root of 4, which is 2. Replace this value in the rule. Only parameter b is left to be determined. We can use either one of the two equations formed earlier. So let's take the second one. Replace c with 2 to get 2 squared divided by -1. When we reduce it, we get 4 over -1, which is -4. So the value of b is -4. You should notice that the b value is negative. This makes sense since the points of the function are located to the left of the asymptote. b would have to be positive if the points from the function were to the right of the asymptote. Therefore, the rule of the logarithmic function is f of x equals log base 2 of -4 times x minus 1. I hope this video has helped you better understand how to find the rule of a logarithmic function using the equation of the asymptote and at least 2 points that belong to the function. To know what to do when one of the 2 points is the 0, or x-intercept, watch the next video.